What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cam, and you guys are joining us for week 304 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is August 14, 2004. Cleveland, how's you doing up there?
Doing all right, bro.
Yeah, what's the temperature gauge on you guys? You guys got the AC still out there?
You know, it's about 79 westerly breeze. No need for the AC right at this present time, but you never know. It could just kick up.
I know that once the crowd climbs over 80, man, you start panting up there. You start panting and getting shivers. So
I won't say unbearable, but it certainly you can certainly feel it. It's hot.
I mean, take it out the box. Keep it ready. Keep it right near the outlet so you can plug that baby in if you need to, man. Fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Give yourself a round of applause. Once again, it is August 14, 2024. We're going to get the show started, fans. So we got a little special guest coming on tonight. But we're going to get our show started just like we do each and every week, just like this.
Who am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name is Cameron.
Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting on.
Best people to fight for this. Somehow we got away from that because guys are trying to protect their record.
Think about it like this: the promoter pays the fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works for the promoter.
Okay.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment. I'm standing there to try to make a change. Give back to the youth, give back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Can I finish? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about this upcoming?
Okay. Like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fan
Oh my goodness!
continues to
I'm in
evolve,
tears.
You were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
The real ones know what's going on, right? Like you said, it's a different voice, so I think it's a big part of my game. And every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy for the
Cam, nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
You played against Michael Jordan, and you said LeBron is the best player in the history of the game? Did you guys hear that?
Oh, this guy.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's the big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sport.
Thank you for making our voice your choice.
And really appreciate you listening to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Check it out every single week.
What up, Snoop? My dog Snoop in the house.
Man, he killed the Olympic coverage. My goodness.
Shit. If you were getting paid $500,000,
But he's not even in your top 50, so I don't want that. He's not even in your top 50, so I don't want to hear nothing from you. We just keep right into the show.
Oh, listen to it. Yeah. Snoop.
What's up, Barry?
What up? What's good, Barry? Thanks for tuning in, man. Give yourself a round of applause. Man, I'm still baffled by what the heck Bill Laimbeer was talking about. Still befuddled, actually. He had me tongue tied. And I can't wait to get Reggie back. I gotta get Reggie. Fans, today we got a lot to talk about. We got a special guest supposed to be joining us later to talk some NBA. Somebody you guys should be pretty familiar with. We're gonna get into. Hopefully, he'll solve this debate that we had with Team USA, this tournament situation. Fans, I'm going to later on in the show. I'm going to announce the 2028 projected Team USA squad that Cleveland says has no chance of winning a gold. This squad here I put together, and again, it's 2024, fans, so give me some grace. But as of this moment, as of today, August 14, 2024, these are the guys. I got 20 guys that I can bring home the gold for America in 2028. Cleveland was so adamant that it's over for America. It's over. That's what he said. It's over. Like Kenny Smith said, Vince Carter, it's over. After the major dunk, Yabusele kind of eclipsed Vince Carter with the dunk of the Olympics, didn't he? With his dunk on Saturday night.
I don't know if it eclipsed. I mean, Vince Carter jumped over a 7-foot dude. So
Yabusele jumped over some people's goat, didn't he? I don't know. You missed that one, of course, right? So we're gonna talk about this, fans. I'm unveiling the 2028 Team USA squad that I believe is gonna bring home the gold. And we're gonna see what the Cleveland has to think. See if Cleveland can get any backing with this squad when I bring it up. But until then, tonight we're gonna talk some NFL. We're gonna review Cleveland. Let me ask you this question before we get started, just to keep this in the fans' mind. How do you gauge? What is your gauge for a running back? What is a successful season for an NFL running back? Let me write this down. For future reference.
Successful
For NFL running back. How do you gauge success? Is it yards per carry? Is it touchdowns? Is it total yards from scrimmage? Is it 1,500 yards? How do you, Cleveland? How do you gauge it? Because I just want to be clear.
Oh, thank you for clarifying. First is yards per carry, and second is total yards.
Yards per carry, and then total yards. That's your gauge. That's your measurement for a successful season.
Correct.
Yard from scrimmage, is that what you're saying? Total yards?
No, those are the first criteria I use. Then, of course, you have to bring in all the other, incorporate other things like did they catch any passes out of the backfield?
This is what I want. I don't want you to start changing it up when I ask you for your category.
So the first two are yards per carry and total yards.
So what's a quality in your mind? In your mind, your novice mind, what's a quality yard per carry average?
An average or good, or like what are we talking about here?
In your mind, what's an acceptable average yard per carry?
So 3 yards per carry is decent. Anything to 3.5 is good, and if you're getting 4 yards per carry, okay, we're talking.
So 4 yards per carry is acceptable in your mind.
3 yards is what I say. Like,
okay, I just want to get that up. Just want to get that on tape, as they say. Just want to get that on tape, fans, because I know this is going to change as soon as I stick him with this. I know he's going to change. Oh, that's not what I meant. Those are all in my two categories. I know he's going to change it up, but I just want to get that recorded first of all. Fans, we start the show off typically with a little montage that we had already. We play our numbers game at the beginning of the show. We're going to give you this week in history towards the middle of the show, and then we end the show with a quote. This week, Cleveland, with it being August 14, 2024, let's look at the number 14. When you think of the number 14, Cleveland, who wore that jersey number the best? Or who comes to your mind first?
Who comes to mind first, Cam, is DK Metcalf, top tier receiver playing for the Seahawks. That is an amalgam at this point. We can't quite figure out if we can rein in the emotion or not. And if he is who he
What
says
I was saying is coming to fruition. My prediction is coming to fruition. I see.
Okay, yeah. After all that, and then who wore the number the best is probably Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose.
No, Ernie Banks ain't on that list.
No,
Dan Fouts ain't on the list.
Neither one of them won a
No, Sam Perkins is on that list.
I don't believe Sam won a championship either.
North Carolina, didn't he win at North Carolina?
Oh, in college? Yeah, I think you know what, he sure did.
I'm just saying, didn't he win one in college? I don't know. Did Pete win one in college? What college did Pete?
No, I'm so sorry. Pete played for the Big Red Machine, so they won back to back.
What college did Pete Rose go to?
Baseball players don't go to college back then.
They don't go to college. He had to go to college to get onto what you call a team, didn't he?
No, that's not how it works. You get drafted out of high school in baseball, Cam. We'll bring you up to speed. It's cool.
Listen to this guy. When you think of the number 4, Cleveland, who wore that jersey number the best? With it being week 304 of the Voice of the Fans podcast, who wore that jersey number the best, or who come to your mind first?
You know, Cam, Brett Favre on both accounts.
I thought you went to the UW, man.
I did.
Corey Dillon can't get no love. Do you remember Nick Collison playing for the Seattle Supersonics?
Yeah, no, they don't come to mind first.
Do you remember Lou Gehrig?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that guy? What about Wardell Curry, who just shot down France and Serbia in the Olympics, single-handedly shot France and Serbia down in the Olympics? You know that guy?
Who are you talking about?
Wardell Stephen Curry. He just shot him. He had the number 4 on. You don't remember that?
I do not remember what number he was wearing. It wasn't 30, so
it was number 4, the Olympics. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, nah, man. Those 6 games or those 2 games that he played really, really well. No, that's not a career.
Are you taking away from what Steph Curry did in the Olympics? Are you minimalizing?
Brett Favre played for 20 years and played 15 straight seasons without missing a game. Did I get that wrong?
You may have. You may have. Maybe it was 12 seasons without missing a game.
Okay.
Cleveland, what do you think? Speaking of the NFL, what do you think about the new kickoff rule? Is this going to allow more kick? It's obviously going to allow more kick returns. Are we going to see more kick returns for touchdowns this season than we have past few seasons?
Perhaps, but they're going to change it back next year. They're already like, yeah, this was a bad idea. I can kind of feel it.
You don't think they don't? NFL don't really change back to what they were doing before. They really don't change back. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think the teams can get a little bit more creative, man. Maybe we could see some rugby type action where they pass the ball. You know, obviously it's going to have to go behind them. Like they get a couple guys.
I can't wait for the first team to try that. Ooh.
I mean, that's what you don't think that is going to happen. I think they're going to.
I'm sure. I mean, the way you're talking about it, I'm sure it can happen. But I can't wait for the first team to try that, and it backfires. Wow.
Oh, it backfires, and that coach is going to get fired. Is what you say? No, they need to do something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, look, they got one guy back there, and the guy, although their blockers and the guys charging are 5 yards apart, I mean they're still 35 yards in between.
You know, Cam, you see all this stuff you have to do to make a kickoff more exciting. It's like, yeah, man, just kick the ball, man.
Just what?
You know what I think would be cool.
Are you going to say just spot it at the 25 and go from there?
So what I think would be cool is if you kick it through the upright, you get a point.
There's no kickoff. then you can just go get any guy from Europe to kick the football through the uprights.
No,
There's
it's not
what do
that
you mean,
easy.
no?
From off a tee from how far?
I mean, Greg Zerline
80
was
yards?
a lot of them are doing that. We're doing that already. Did they move the tee back or something? They're kicking from the 35.
Get a point.
So they have to kick it 75 yards again. There was kickers already kicking it as far as they're a few yards from the uprights. So again, they go get any kicker from Europe, any soccer player from Europe is going to kick it right through the goal. I don't think that's not exciting. We're trying to enhance the kickoff. Like they tried that stuff to get rid of the kickoff. Now they got this little gimmicky stuff. I want to see somebody if they kick it to the coffin corner as they used to do, then there's two guys that's trailing the play, and as soon as the guy is getting tackled or close to getting tackled, they can pitch it off to the other guy, and then he can run for a minute until he gets close to being tackled. He can pitch it off. That'll give these the offense more. Not only will that add excitement to the game, that will give them enough time to either make a play, either cut back or go upfield. Now the defender don't know who's going to get the ball. They're going to have to kind of ease up on their. They can't run and do a beeline straight to that ball carrier. They're going to have to be a little bit more cognitive of who's running the ball. Add some more excitement to the kickoff, man. I think they're going to change that up. I think they're going to change it. You disagree with that for somehow.
Yeah, I think they're gonna change it back. I think it's gonna be like, yeah, that was cool. We tried to bring more excitement, entertainment into it, and it's just a kickoff.
Looks like the Patriots, man, trading Matthew Judon to the Falcons for a 3rd round pick. Like Miami Dolphins, where you at? A 3rd round pick is all it took for Judon, and you got 2 edge rushers coming off a hamstring injury. What are you guys doing down there?
Well, they've allocated all their funds to the quarterback and the receiver, Cam. So
yeah.
you know a big contract.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you think all this money is coming from in a salary cap environment. Yeah, you're out of the running.
You know what I told? You know what I suggested already. I've already suggested. And fans, this is going to happen after next season. And I mean, Tyreek Hill, it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. Number 1 player, ranked by the NFL players, ranked 100. It was fun while it lasted, but we cannot pay a quarterback $53 million and pay a wide receiver $30 million. That just doesn't make any sense. So between 2 guys, we're paying over $80 million in salary cap. That's over half their salary cap in 2 guys. It's not sustainable. Fans, that's not sustainable. Tyreek, where you want to go, man? Where you want to go? You want to go to Seattle and we get Jackson Smith and Jigma? I mean, do you want to go to Minnesota? I mean, where do you want to go, big dog? Because, I mean, I hope you're not. I mean, you got $30 million per year. You should be able to find a house for $30 million or 10, 15 million down there in Miami. You can come back and visit, boy. We got a spot for you guys. Every home game, we got a spot for you and your family. But we got to send you away, bro. We can't pay you all this money. Or Tua. I mean, Tua just signed his deal, so one of these guys got to get traded. One of these guys got to get traded sooner than later. So, yeah, Matthew Judon, you should be wearing a Dolphins uniform. But you go to the Falcons, where the Falcons look like they might be doing some stuff in a weak division. How much better does he make the Falcons? They already have some young cornerbacks. They don't have a linebacker to speak of. That doesn't come to my mind right now. But he's going to make those cornerbacks better. What do you think about Judon going to the Falcons? Or a 3rd rounder?
Yeah, he makes them quite a bit better. I mean, he's one of the premier pass rushers in the league. That the stats bear that out. But again, it's the NFC South, and I'm not 100% sold on the Falcons. I hope that they're better than I think they are. And, Raheem Morris being a defensive-minded head coach can certainly get the most out of them.
What's up with your Jets, man? Salah can't seem to unite everybody. Hassan Reddick says he wants out of there. He requests a trade from the Jets before he even suits up for him. Does he start the season? And then your owner is saying we're not trading him. He's drawing a hard line and saying he should be here. And until he gets here, we're not talking about anybody that's not here. I mean, you drawing a hard line in the sand and you just gave up 3 picks for this dude. It sounds like it's incumbent upon you to sign this dude. And apparently he knows it. Does he suit up for the Jets or does he get traded before the season starts?
Oh, he definitely suits up for the Jets, and I don't know what this, losing everybody thing was about. He's only lost Hassan Reddick, who's actually never been to the building. So everybody else is on board. So don't worry about the head coach. He's just fine. Thanks for asking. He's got a command of the room. With regards to Hassan Reddick, I mean, this is the tough talk that those players do until they realize, oh, yeah, you're gonna lose check after check after check after check after check after check, and you absolutely have to come by game 9, week 9, or you don't get a year of service. So yeah, but you've lost all those checks. Sounds cool till you start losing like $800,000
game checks.
Yeah.
Right now, preseason checks.
About a month of that, we'll see how you feel.
Oh, you're drawing a hard line too. Like,
yeah. I mean, we got to come in and at least talk about what it is that you're talking about. You ain't even come in and talk about what do you want?
We talked about it. You knew one of you guys traded for me.
No,
when we had the press conference.
No, they did not have a number.
Look, you need I want a new deal. That's why it was.
I want a new deal. Okay, what do you want? Well, hey man, let's come in and talk about it. No, I'm not even going to your facility. Okay, well, don't.
Oh, you guys are drawing a hard line, so he might be in the blocks. Okay, Dolphins, here's your chance. Go ahead and snatch somebody within your division. This is a chance to get somebody else since they want to play hard and fast. Loosen, like they own all the marbles. Let's show them who we are. How about that? What do you think about that? You see him down there in South Florida with.
I mean, he could be a lot of places and look really, really great, Cam. But as of right now, once the Johnson & Johnson baby powder or baby shampoo dude says I'm not budging, that's kind of that.
Well, he's gonna have egg on his face before it's all over with. The Browns, they signed their linebacker Jeremiah Kiramura to a 3-year extension for $40 million. The Browns, it's kind of crazy to say. I want to ask you, what do we expect of the Browns? Knowing their number one guy is coming off another knee injury, do you expect Chubb to come back and rush for 1,200 yards again this year?
No, that would be asking quite a lot for 1,200. I do expect him to come back mid-season and be productive. And, I would think that back to his old self is a little bit optimistic, but, productive.
He's done it twice before, though.
He certainly has. He's not that old. So, technology has gotten better. And, we don't really know what the off-season program has looked like, but it's hard to say that he would be the chubby guy that we knew and loved from before.
Is this a make or break season for Deshaun Watson?
Yeah. Well, it means that one more year on this guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
So no.
But how these 1 year on these NFL.
That's the thing, right? He doesn't have one of those conventional contracts we can say okay, we're done here. It's no, we can guarantee you all the 4 years. So it's we guaranteed you all the money. So yeah, you have to at least try again next year, and then we can be done with you.
Is he on the block to be done with him? I mean, is that on the table?
He's not on the block because no one else wants him. They're just looking at this as a teachable moment as to why you don't guarantee a quarterback's entire salary for the entire length of the contract.
All right. Not only do I think Nick Chubb will be back fairly early in the season, I think he's going to look better than ever. The former executive said, from everything I've been told, the knee is feeling great, and he's more motivated that I've ever seen him. You know, there was a video of him squatting like 600 pounds, right? Like within a month. Did you see the video? I know that's squatting and not cutting and running and stuff like that. But still, that he got under the bar of 600 pounds. That tells you there's some confidence, not only confidence, but some strength in that in his limbs, right?
You might want to draft him with your first or second pick in that fantasy draft that's coming up, Cam.
Listen to him. Listen to him. Smart Alec.
And show the whole world how confident you are in what you're saying.
And fans, just so you know, the Voice of the Fans fantasy draft will be happening on what date, Cleveland? I think it's the 1st of September, if I'm not mistaken.
It is the Sunday. Yes, it is.
It's the 1st of September. Voice of the Fans fantasy draft. So tune in if you want to get educated on how a premier GM makes his draft day acquisitions. To be sure to tune in. You can't miss it. And then you will see one GM make his premier picks, and then you see the other GM fall flat on his face, and how he just loses the whole fantasy season.
And fans, make no mistake about it. The GM in the Q's orange did not make the playoffs last year. Just throwing
has he won the GM with the Q's orange? Has he won a championship in this fantasy football league? Just answer that question, Mr. Cleveland.
Oh, you certainly did, but you don't want to get into the particulars about how you won it, now, do you? Moving right along. Next thing.
A win is a win, right? A win is a win.
Not the way you did it. Not the way you did it.
A win is a win, right?
Not the way you did it now.
So fans, tune into the Voice of the Fans fantasy football draft. We're gonna have it during our Sunday special here in a couple of weeks. You guys tune in for some comedy. It should be a good time, good laughs. Are you concerned with Hollywood Brown's injury for the Chiefs, going down with a shoulder bone tear? Forget what they call it, but are you concerned with this injury?
You know, not a lot of depth at that receiver position. They've been having a problem with that ever since they lost Tyreek Hill.
You want him back? You want Tyreek? I mean, I don't want none of your draft picks, but you want Tyreek Hill back?
So it's been a little plug and play since then, but they've managed to do so fairly effectively. Hence, they won the Super Bowl last year, and Xavier Worthy is there as well. So, they will acquire some more depth. There are going to be some receivers that get cut around the league, and come to the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes offense. See if we can't fix it.
Is Xavier Worthy going to be better than John Ross?
Yeah.
Why do you
has
think
to
so?
be?
I mean,
the bar is not very high for that one.
That's true. Why do you think he will be, though? What's your expectation? Why do you think?
Well, I'm not 100% convinced. Cam, I'm being facetious. I mean, obviously he killed the combine and stuff, and they've thrown a few touchdowns in preseason, but he's lighting the ass. I mean, we're playing football here. That's one of the sports where you're whatever, you're hard and you want to. It does not make up for being 160 pounds playing that position. It just doesn't. It's too physical.
But if Mahomes can just throw it deep, I mean that does take.
That's cool, but I mean, what you don't think?
Who is Ross playing with though?
You don't think the defense knows that that's what he wants to do? I mean,
you can't really stop him from just sprint by. I mean, except you put two guys deep. That's about it. and then that serves its purpose right there. You do that.
Everybody always says that, and then the really, really fast guys don't always just blow by people because there's technique and their scheme.
No, well, you put two guys, but again, you put two guys deep, and that he's already served his purpose right there, and that opens it up for Rice, and that opens up
and screens. Yeah, I get that.
That serves his purpose right there. I mean, he can catch 30 passes, and that serves his purpose. But you just leave him open that one time, during the game, and boom, there's a 60-yarder gone by you for 6 points, and then you're not gonna do that again.
If he was 180, 190, I'd feel better about him. 160, and I'm giving him a whole bunch of pounds on the 160. So yeah.
But I mean, where's Goodell? I mean, is Goodell on vacation still? Like, what is he doing? Has the Ray Rice situation not come across his desk? Not Ray Rice, excuse me. I take that back. Rashad Sheehy, has that situation?
Rasheed Rice? Is that who's talking about? Rasheed Rice?
Has that situation came across his desk?
Hey man, he's about the Olympics, man. He'll get to it when he gets to it.
He hasn't come back from the France yet.
Not yet.
The season's about to start in a few weeks. This happened in March, didn't it?
Well, he's gonna get to it. It's on his to-do list.
So does he play a full 17 games this year?
No.
I mean, it's gonna be that's kind of dirty to come in 2 weeks before the season starts and say he's going to be suspended for 6 games.
He already knew he was going to be suspended when he did what he did. When it became public knowledge, he already knew.
Is that why he gathered everything and try to walk off the freeway? And he and the boys try to walk away from the scene of the crime off the freeway. It wasn't like it was at the corner at the Rainier and Henderson. These guys were on the the freeway looking for the next off ramp.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think it'd be kind of dirty though if they just come in and say, "Okay, you're done. You're sitting down for the first."
Why would that be dirty? You already know what's coming in. Come on.
Because they haven't. Have they even?
Just haven't gotten around to it, but you're gonna miss some games. What you think? Like, ooh, maybe they didn't see us anyway.
Maybe if I keep my nose clean and go to some classes, they gonna forget about it.
Keep turning in my homework and doing the dishes every night. No.
I'm just out of nowhere, they're just gonna say come in 2 weeks before the season.
Out of nowhere, they already know it's coming. Man.
Okay.
No less than 4 games. 6 sounds like I don't know. That's what they're trying to.
So they already talked to Andy Reid. They already talked to Andy Reid, is what you're saying.
That's what's going on, but the Chiefs already know that he's not going to play every game.
Okay, that's one thing. That's one thing not to play every game. Okay, we get it. There's something the hammer got to come down at some point.
They're not leaving them in suspense, man. They already know it's either going to be 4 or 6 games. It depends on what the investigation unfolds. It could be worse than what we're thinking, and if it's worse, then it could be 8 games. MJ, what it do? But no less than 4 to 6 games.
You gotta stay tuned, MJ. We got a special guest talking just to you tonight. A special guest coming on talking just to you specifically. I think they need to give them some kind of heads up. I think they need to give them some kind of heads up. I mean, they
like having the teams in suspense. They love that.
The NFL, Goodell.
Oh yeah.
How long will it take for CeeDee Lamb and Dak to get in sync? Like Dak's out there, CeeDee look like Jerry just gonna wait till week 1. I mean the off week before the season starts to sign CeeDee. I mean we know he's gonna sign He kind of has to sign him. But what's the holdup?
To answer your question, at least 3 weeks
Into the season?
to get on sync. Yeah.
Oh, to get in sync at least 3 weeks. Well, okay. You mentioned that. Do you think Mike McCarthy has told Jerry that? Hey, Jerry, we need this guy. It's going to take him a few weeks to get in sync.
He's been through all this. Go do your research.
Oh boy.
Do your studying. He's been through all of this numerous times, so he knows how long this takes. But he's also
you didn't just compare him to the NFL rushing leader, did you?
No, what I said was, you understand how these things work with regards to contracts and how long it takes you to get back into the flow of things. But you also have to understand that this is the owner of a $10 billion franchise, the highest valuation of a franchise in the history of the United States.
Yeah, I think it was just reevaluated like 292 billion or something like that. If
10 billion.
Dallas
Cowboys are worth $10 billion. If you want to show up, Saudi Arabia or whoever you are, you have to have $10 billion to even start the conversation.
Jerry made it out like a fat cat, boy. I tell you what, he came in and he said, "Yeah, if you pay 160 million, you can make the decisions. You can make all the decisions for this team like I can." Jerry, okay, Jerry. I know it hurts your heart, man, but JG McCarthy is out for the season. What is Minnesota's in trouble? Because at least he came in and threw a touchdown pass and looked like he had some depth to him. Now they got to go a whole season with Sam Darnold. How you think that's going to work, buddy?
Yeah, Cam, it's unfortunate for the former Michigan quarterback national champion. It's unfortunate for the highest paid receiver in football. I mean, we've said this on numerous occasions. You can't. Yeah, it's real. You can't throw the ball to yourself, and now you have who you thought was kind of grooming to kind of take the place of a Kirk Cousins, but now you just have Sam Darnold. So
now you're stuck. Now you're stuck with him.
And then next year you can't even go out and draft a quarterback because you have to wait for the quarterback that drafted last year. So yeah, maybe 2 years behind.
That's a tough look, man. That's a tough one. NFL can't have the Saudis. Yeah. Not off the bat. Jamar Gibbs.
Sorry, go ahead.
Jamar Gibbs suffers a hamstring injury. How long is it going to take him to get over this injury? And are they going to miss? They got Montgomery now. That two-headed monster is not so fierce anymore. What do you think about this injury? How does this impact the Lions?
Said he'll be ready by week 1. He's fine.
Oh, he's okay?
He's all right.
Is that your first round draft pick in the fantasy football?
Possibly.
I know you had him and you lucked in, right?
Was it luck or was it just I knew what I was looking at?
I mean, he's a Bama back. Yeah, they got Darnold. Yeah. Jefferson, he's on your keeper league. I mean, you might try to get something for him right now because it's gonna be a lot of hit and miss. You might want to get something for him. So Cleavon, I asked you earlier, what is your measurement for grading running backs?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that long ago that I asked you, remember that? And you said 3.5 yards per carry and then total yards this season. So 1,600 yards, or not 1,600, but
I said rushing yards. I did not say total yards. I said rushing yards.
So 1,200 yards.
1,200 yards is cool.
Yeah, we're gonna have our draft is coming up. You can call Cleveland offline, see what he'll tell you. He's not gonna be truthful with me on the line. He's not gonna tell the truth right now.
I'll just give my vanilla opinion.
He's not gonna tell the truth. This is the
season. I'll show you some looks. I can't show you every look. Can't.
This is like right now. This is the final 2 weeks before the draft. MJ, you know how teams just be lying to each other. Yeah, I'm looking at a linebacker. Yeah, I'm looking at a strong safety, knowing all the well they want that running back coming out of Alabama. Cleveland is lying through his teeth if you listen to anything, at least on air. Maybe if you get them online, shoot them an email. Where can they reach you at, Cleveland?
At Clevie Wonder on Twitter and TikTok, and Cleveland Steel on Instagram.
Maybe you'll get some truth out of him there, but you will not get any truth out of him with me on the other side of the screen. He is not going to say anything. But you're in the seventh in a snake draft out of 10 people. 7. I don't know who's that, Cleveland. You got Jefferson. You got McCaffrey. You got Mahomes. I mean, you might be looking at quarterback. That might be your first pick as a quarterback.
Your first pick is not a quarterback. I will give you that, MJ. And if we're being perfectly, frank and earnest, it's probably Devontae Adams.
Oh, Devontae Adams. You see how he's lying to you right now?
Devontae Adams.
Don't take Devontae Adams. Look at who your quarterback is. I warn you, do not. You might come back around in the second round and get Devontae if you can. Do not take him with the number one pick.
Trust me, MJ. Devontae Adams will not be available in the second round. If that's your strategy, that will backfire and fail.
Devontae Adams. Do you know who his quarterback is? Who's his quarterback? Leave
They haven't decided just yet.
Who's okay? Who's in the running to be his quarterback? Leave
It's Stidham and Minshew.
And who? Stidham is in Denver, ain't he?
Wait, I'm sorry, O'Connell and Minshew.
And who?
And Minshew.
Where did he go to school at?
Number 10. I don't do all the research, Cam. Come on now. The dude that was quarterback in the Colts last year.
The dude, see, number 7. Yeah, you don't want Devontae Adams. I assure you of that, bro. Not with this number 7 pick. Number 7 pick. I'll throw you a bone. Justin Jefferson, you already have him, but Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of those guys. That's probably who you'd be interested in getting. One of those guys. You get to keep 5 players every year. I mean, what's the rest of your roster look like? I mean, that has something to do with it. You got Jefferson. You got a running back. Do you have a quarterback? Who's your other receiver? Like some of that.
Yeah, get into the nuances of all this, man. Get all philosophical about it, man. Like, shoot.
You see Cleveland over there taking notes, man.
Be a professor. But MJ, remember this dude didn't make the playoffs last year. So I mean, it's all just, gibberish, really.
Oh, you might be set. You might be. You need a quarterback, a running back. That's what you need. You got Diggs, Puka, and Jefferson, and you kept the Purdy.
Oh well, yeah. My receiver pick, man. Yeah, don't worry.
Oh my goodness, you need a running. You got Walker. Yeah, you need another running back, and that's what you need to focus on with number 7.
It sounds like and Cam, close your ears. It sounds like either Breece Hall or Bijan is your pick there. If they're available, either one.
They're not going to be at 7.
At 7? Wow, they both be gone.
They'll both be gone. I mean, Breece Hall might be there. Breece Hall coming off an injury, and you just said you wouldn't take Chubb. Breece Hall coming off a knee injury.
No, he played a full season last season. Thanks for asking.
Yeah,
he didn't tear up the same knee that he tore up in college. So what do
he's
you
not gonna be there. He's not gonna be there.
Okay, well, cool. I'm not. Hey, look. I'm not in this person's draft. You just asked me a question. I answered it.
I mean, there's a few players you got to look at. You're looking at a running back.
By the way, fans, Cam waits till like 5 minutes before the draft starts to even tell you what order we're even picking in, which is again.
I mean, what am I supposed to do? Give you a week notice or something?
Half hour?
I mean, I think they decided a half hour before the draft. What you blaming me for? I think it's decided.
Waiting until 5 minutes to tell everybody when they were picking.
I mean, if you're not paying attention, what you want me to do about that? You gonna call me up 2 minutes before the draft? How do I get into the screen too?
Can you let us know what order we're picking in half an hour before the draft?
Man, one dude, I'm not gonna ever forget this. I'm studying for I got the first pick of the league. I'm studying for my pick, and real quick. I see USB. I can't let everybody see that one, SB, but I feel you right there. And then Cleveland gonna pull that number 2 minutes before the draft starts. Yo, how do I get into the draft? I can't get into the draft.
I didn't do that.
Man, dude.
I didn't do that. That was one of the other players within the league.
How do I get it? I can't log in. Did you lock me out? Can you send me the link? I'm like, come on, 2 minutes before the draft now. Guys, get it together over there. So Cleveland, my question for you is before we got into all this fantasy talk, I was asking you to gauge your running backs, and this might help you out, MJ. Who's gonna have the better season? DeAndre Swift or Jahmyr Gibbs?
It's a very tough one. I would have to call it kind of almost. I don't want to call it a wash, but if I had to go one way or the other, Jahmyr Gibbs,
Austin Eckler, or Gus Edwards. Two players who exchange coasts. Austin goes from LA to Washington, and Edwards.
Gus Edwards. Austin is acting like he's cool with it, but he's at a source going all the way across country to DC. Yeah. Gus is like, oh, I get to go from Baltimore to LA. Oh, okay.
that sun will change you a little bit.
See, like, oh, yeah.
Bijan Robinson or Derrick Henry?
The king.
This might be a breakout year for Robinson. It should be.
Said that last year.
Tony Pollard or Ezekiel Elliott?
Tony Pollard.
The Cowboys gonna regret drafting Elliott or signing Elliott?
If they're expecting him to be the bell cow to carry the ball like 25, 30 times a game, yeah, that was like 4 years ago. You're not getting that Ezekiel Elliott.
Did they sign somebody else?
Not that I can recall, not that I've heard.
Yeah.
I mean, if their plan is just to, rinse and repeat, then yeah, that's going to be a problem.
I mean, have they signed anybody else? I can't remember them drafting.
Not
you
that
can't
I've
recall
heard
them drafting anybody.
At this point, it's quite late in the process. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know they drafted the coach's son last year, and he got some carries. But
oh man, that feel good story did not go well. Yeah,
I'm just saying he got some carries.
That feel good story did not go well. He got lit up. He's little.
Oh, you about to draft right now? Yeah, buddy. Running back is where you go with that number 7. I go 7
early, man.
I go 7 and come back around and get another running back, bro, because they're all gonna be gone by the time you come back.
Around. Your receivers are stacked and solid.
Yeah, you're already solid everywhere, and you got the sleeper quarterback too. Yeah, you already set there. Let's go running back for sure.
Yeah, that's wild.
Aaron Jones or Josh Jacobs?
Aaron Jones.
Oh, I knew you would say that.
Especially now. I mean, it's Sam Darnold behind the helm the whole time.
I mean, that's worse. That's even worse for Aaron Jones. At least with the young guy, you don't know exactly what he's coming. The young guy may be able to come back and throw a couple, go over the top when you stack the box. Now they got Sam Darnold. They know they're gonna stack the box against Aaron Jones. It's not gonna be a good look for Aaron Jones this year because Sam Darnold is threatening no one, even with the receiver Jefferson. Josh Jacobs, he's on a squad, bro. He's already a good back, and he's on a squad where they don't need his 1,800 yards. If he had a 1,300 yard season, he's Gucci. I think that's a good pick. I think so. There you go. We just went over some running backs for you. Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Swift is. I like Swift for some reason, but Gibbs, if he gets over this injury, he should be pretty good. Austin Eckler or Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards is going to get a lot more carries through the season, so he's likely that Austin Eckler isn't really. He's more of a scat back, catch out the backfield. Now and then he's gonna. He needs a combination of touches to get his yards. Gus Edwards they're gonna rely heavily on him to run the ball in Los Angeles. Bijan and Derrick Henry. I mean, do you expect Derrick Henry to be the Derrick Henry from Baltimore? Or no, from Tennessee? I don't think we're gonna get that. He's not gonna get that many carries to be that same guy.
Well, hey, two things. One, he's not going to have to be the focal point of the offense completely and totally. And it's a much better offensive line, and they're going to pick their poison. So, yeah, I think Derrick Henry is going to be just fine.
But I expect he'll be just fine.
Maybe I've said too much.
No, I'm just saying. Do you think he's going to get the same touches that he got?
No, he's not going to get like the most rushing attempts in the league. No, he plays behind Lamar Jackson. So, no, that's not going to be a thing. Does that mean he's not going to be productive? I feel he has an opportunity to be even more productive because they're not focusing on him completely and totally. They can do other things. And if you just keep focusing on Derrick Henry,
what would you do though?
Lamar Jackson.
What would you do as a defense? Do you allow? You have to focus on Henry because if you don't focus on Henry, he's gonna batter at you.
So
you have to focus on Henry.
You've already answered your own question. If you're gonna focus on Derrick Henry first, wow, yeah, that's gonna loosen up some things for Lamar Jackson. Play action works way different. RPO works way different when you collapse for Derrick Henry to get the ball, and that's at least you're committing at least two, right? And that's one too many, right?
I mean, you're gonna have to bring that linebacker and safety because you're gonna need two people to get him down.
So you'll be tired of that 8-9 yards of carry that Lamar Jackson gets every time. You're like, okay, we're gonna stop that, but wait,
then here he comes again. As soon as that safety drops back,
you try and stop both of them. Oh, well, there's that Zay guy on one-on-one coverage, and then there's that Andrews guy.
I wish I had more. I mean, I might have to put them guys on PlayStation and see what they do. I just don't have confidence with Lamar running that offense. Like, I don't know. I just don't.
That's the AFC Championship game. This is the NFL MVP. You don't have any confidence in him?
What did he do in the championship game?
That's why John Harbaugh went on his tirade, man. It's like, I mean, man, he's been the MVP of the league 2 times before he's 26 years old.
Yeah. Okay. And when the
okay, but he didn't beat Patrick on the table. But he didn't beat Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, that matters.
That list is getting really, really long. It's kind of like that list of people that didn't beat Tom Brady. That list is really, really long.
Okay, so what he gonna do it this year? Is he gonna do it this year with more help? Is that what you're saying? With more help, better defense, more help, better defense. He can do it this year.
Better defense. I don't know if the defense is better.
I'm just saying, is that what you're gonna tell me? With more help, a better defense, a better coaching?
No, I'm gonna tell you what
year.
I'm going to tell you. You remember when Peyton couldn't get past Tom Brady, right? This is Peyton Manning. So you're expecting Lamar Jackson just to get over the top on Mahomes? We'll see, man. He's put himself, or the team has put themselves in a position to be back in the AFC Championship game again. Yeah. Now, we will see. Again, like you're saying, and you're not wrong, you were in the AFC Championship game at home and then win.
At home.
And they win.
And I mean, there was no excuse. You had momentum going into the game.
All that.
City was down.
And so from that team, they added Derrick Henry.
They lost a linebacker.
Pretty close last time. I mean, they did lose Patrick Quinn on the defensive side. They did have some attrition, but they also had an addition of Derrick Henry.
I mean, I think that's nice.
It all comes down to health and scheduling, right?
It might be too many. It might be too many toys to play with. It might be too many toys to play with. It could be some of that. And
that sounds like a Dolphins problem. That doesn't really sound like a Baltimore Ravens problem.
Low blow. No, seriously, it's serious business. It might be too many toys to play with.
There's only 4 toys. There's Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, and Andrews. That's the toys.
What, Bateman? He's not on the list no more.
Oh.
They got Likely. Is it Likely the other tight end?
So when they go to the 2 tight end set, ooh, you better. It's not like the tight end set I always talk about in New England. What could have been with Aaron Hernandez and Gronk?
I mean, Likely. I think
it's not that, but Likely stepped in quite nicely for Andrews when he was hurt, right?
Yeah.
So if you have both of them in the formation, wow, they can both catch passes and they can both block. And one of them might just release out and go 7-8 yards, and you have to follow him. Yeah. Not a bunch of toys, man. It's Lamar and Derrick Henry and Zay. Start there.
And then there's Andrews coming back. You're gonna have to
work
Andrews back in the mix.
Yeah, and then once you get too focused on him, we'll just go with the 2 tight end set. Now what do you do?
It's gonna be interesting. Like I said, I'm about to get these guys on Madden and see what they do, see what they feel like. But yeah, my confidence level, I have least confidence in the quarterback getting it done for whatever reason. I mean, everything was working in their favor last season, and he struggled. He struggled at crunch time, V time at home after having your own cup of noodle soup. You couldn't get it done. Albeit it was against the defending
on the MVP of the league.
Champions.
But hey, man,
that's what you're the MVP. What do we expect from you? You're the guy. This is your time to get it done, and you don't get it done. What else should we expect from you?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's all I'm saying. Okay. But yeah, Henry, Pollard in Tennessee. Pollard is a part of a They got Spears, 2-headed monster in there. I mean, they're kind of alike. I think Dallas should have kept Tony Pollard. I think they should have kept him because they don't have a running back who's been there available. Who?
Cook
from Buffalo. The young, I don't know. I say Aaron Jones. Well, we just talked about Aaron Jones is going to be stifled. Jaylen Warren or Cook. Yeah, I agree with that. Jaylen Warren or Cook. Jaylen Warren or Cook. And I guess Cook being with Buffalo, he has receivers and a quarterback. The pressure is not going to be.
Doesn't have a whole lot of receivers. That's why you would go with Cook.
But he had his quarterback is going to be. They're going to be expecting his quarterback to produce. MVP style. They expect Josh Allen. Yeah, I go Cook. I don't disagree with there in that situation. I go Cook there because Eckler, depending on he's going to be depending on how the rookie's doing. Singletary, Warren, that's going to be based on what the quarterbacks do as well. I mean, he's going to have a decent season, but it's going to depend on what the quarterbacks do. And that could go up or down depending on how they're doing. Where is Singletary this week? He's not in Buffalo. He's not in Houston. Where is Singletary this year?
Don't remember.
Matter.
Where's Singletary at? Devin Singletary. Where you at, Singletary? Singletary is in the Giants. I mean, they're gonna need to run the ball. That might be their guy. I go Cook though. Above all else, I go Cook. Cook, Warren, Singletary. Probably how that will go for me. Aaron Jones is probably the better running back of all the.
Cook, Warren Jones, man. Why would you put Singletary in front of Aaron Jones? And they don't have a quarterback.
Because they could be able to stack the box. They're gonna be able to stack the box and make it tough on him. They don't have a quarterback to throw deep or to threaten the defense. The Sam Darnold's not going to threaten the defense, so they'll be able to stack the box. And if Sam Darnold hits you over the head once or twice, you'll be like, "I'll take that." So yeah, they're going to stack the box. Eckler's play is going to depend largely on what the young quarterback does. He's going to have an okay season, but a lot of it's going to depend on how the young rookie does. And as we know, rookies going to have an up and down season. Jaylen Warren, he's going to have the best season of the Pittsburgh running backs, but again, some of that's going to be based on what the quarterbacks do there. Singletary and the Giants, I mean, that's not a bad pick, but again, you got Daniel Jones. They need a filler for Saquon Barkley, and they're going to make Singletary look like he's an adequate replacement. So he's going to get every opportunity to look like he's an adequate replacement for Saquon. So I personally would go Cook, Warren, Singletary. Let's see who you go with. That's what I would do. Yeah, that's what I would do there. What's your Seahawks looking like?
Look good.
Have you had a chance to see how Geno working with Smith and Jigba?
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that. No.
Tyler Lockett, how's Geno working with Tyler Lockett?
Geno was running the grub offense, so long as he picks it up and understands it fully, by the time the season starts, we'll see what happens.
Now, Eric wrote an article. Our guy Eric Williams with Fox Sports wrote an article, and he mentioned the Legion of Boom. How do you feel about that?
What did he say about them?
This defense is giving shades of Legion of Boom.
Oh no. I've had
you don't want to get too excited? Is you tell Eric to pump the brakes? You sound like you just don't want to be scorned. That's what I'm.
No.
You just don't want to be scorned.
Listen now. They have one of the three components, and that's Devin Witherspoon. That's legit.
No, they had the other guy too. I thought Witherspoon.
Okay, you asked me the question that you don't know the answer. Do I gotta be Reggie Miller out here, man? Listen. Devin Witherspoon is the Richard Sherman comp. There is no Earl Thomas III comp. Absolutely not. And there is no Cam Chancellor comp. Absolutely not. They're good, but he only covers one of the three bases.
So the Legion of Boom is you're looking at all the defensive secondary, the two cornerbacks and the safety.
That's what the Legion of Boom is.
Wasn't yeah, they Cook. I'm sorry. thought we had that. Didn't you have the two cornerbacks? Who was on the other side of Richard? It could have been anybody.
It was Brandon Browner, and then it was a man that got traded down to Miami. I forgot his name, but yeah, it was, I don't want to say a revolving door over there, but I mean, it was, I can't remember his name. They had two really good ones, but no, it's Rich, Earl, and Cam, and then the other corner.
So Wagner wasn't part of that legion. And your guy 77, who was the defensive lineman 77, he wasn't part of that.
77 was Red Bryant. Michael Bennett was on it. Cliff Aver was on it. That's all cool, but no, it's the secondary, man.
Yeah, so they don't have the 6'4", 230-pound safety. They don't have that guy. I mean, that was absurd, man. That guy
they don't have the free safety with the fluid hips that covers better than Troy Polamalu and hits harder than Ed Reed. And that's 1 and 2 on the safety list. Where's Earl on the safety list of the last 25 years?
I don't think that I didn't hear nothing about moving Lockett. Did you hear anything about that?
I mean, he's kind of the odd man out in that offense. I mean, they could probably get a slot receiver to, kind of replicate that production. But I mean,
Wait. What do you mean he's an odd man out? Smith, you've already promoted Smith to number 2?
We'll see how the season goes. I mean, in the Grubb offense, I think he's going to be more productive than Tyler Lockett is going to be, but we'll see.
I mean, you can't. You got 3 wide receivers. You better Grubb. I don't know what kind of plans you got. You better run with 3 wide and a running back. I mean,
if they're talking about trading him, I've not heard those rumors, so I'm not.
Yeah, that's your number 2 wide receiver. You can't just throw him to the wolves. That doesn't work. That does not work. You got to make that. You got to make that work, Grubb. I don't know what's going on over there. Do I have to make a phone call?
No, I'll take care of it.
Julie, I try to call you, Julie. Why don't you answer my calls? Ain't answer my calls. Ain't answer my emails. Yeah, you guys better figure that out. Lockett can't be on the blocks. You got Smith and Jigma. DK is DK. You can't corral DK and his emotions. Maybe he ended up on a block.
Okay. Maybe hey, Cam, let me just focus on 305. I'll take care of 206 up here.
I mean, I don't know if things. I don't know if you're doing your job if Lockett is on the block. So that don't sound quite right, does it?
No, especially not at this phase of the training camp and the process.
What year is he? This is like his 3rd year. Or excuse me, 8, 9. He was in Germany. That's right. He was in Germany. That was 18.
In Germany.
Yeah, he played the Raiders in Germany when I went to go see him.
Okay. Well, yeah, he was already in his 3rd or 4th year then.
Yeah. Was it 3rd or 4th year then? Okay. Jeez. I didn't know this is 8. I didn't know. I'm thinking he's still a young dude.
Time flies. No, he's not.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. What can they win that division, or can they compete in that division against?
They can compete, given the fact that San Francisco is. I don't want to say they've opened the door, but with the Trent Williams and the Ayuk thing going on, and the uncertainty of Christian McCaffrey's health, yeah. And you know how durable Debo's been over the last couple of years. Not very durable. Yeah, they have some questions to answer.
Oh, listen to you. San Francisco wins that division, walking away.
Okay, without Ayuk and Trent Williams, do they?
I mean, I can imagine they trade him with what's going on. Like if the Bengals didn't trade T. Higgins, they're competing. Keep the band together. Let's
Bengals weren't in the Super Bowl last year. The 49ers were.
That's what I know. They have they're ready to win it.
Yet they won't rectify this situation at least for a year, if not longer. So yeah, That's a problem. And then again, your starting left tackle is holding out too. People just like completely just wash over that. Like it's not a thing. Like, oh, he's gonna come. Are you sure?
I mean, well, he don't want to go and be in training. Like, okay, let's figure this out. You know, they got that extra bye week before the season starts. Okay, dude. All right, no more training camp. We need to get you in here. You know, that's what he did. He don't want to go to training.
Okay, so you put your John Lynch cap on. Okay, I'm just saying right now it's not a runaway, and the Rams look pretty good, and Seahawks look better than anticipated. The Cardinals.
So you're gonna have to give McVay some credit because you and the rest of the league was bashing on McVay when they went all in for the Super Bowl. They win the Super Bowl. They turn around. They had the stinky season.
Wasn't
nobody
bashing when he went all in for the Super Bowl?
anything. Huh?
How was I bashing on him when he went all in for the Super Bowl?
No. When they, what did they say? After picks, everybody bashing on the Rams for saying after picks. They go all in, they win the Super Bowl. The next year they have this, the recovery year. And then the year after that, they're supposed to stink. But quiet as kept. Like they were competing for a playoff spot. You're gonna have to bow down to McVay here pretty soon, aren't you?
Not bow down. He's done a nice job of what he's done over there, and that's great. 2 Super Bowl appearances, won one of them. Very similar to what Pete Carroll did. So no bowing down. No.
Because are they gonna? That's who you're competing with in this division, or do you think? So part of the conversation, I guess we might as well get into it now. I was going to save this conversation for next week, maybe. But Rookie of the Year, I know you're going to say Caleb Williams hand down. I mean, I know you're going to say that. But does Marvin Harrison, does he have a chance to win Rookie of the Year?
No.
What about Malik Neighbors? Do you give anybody other than Caleb Williams a chance to win Rookie of the Year? Because I know how much Jaden Daniels or Malik Neighbors, they have no chance of winning it. Marvin Harrison, if he catches 1,200 yards from the shortstop, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, that doesn't win it? Do you have Caleb Williams going for 4,000 yards this season? Did you get you a Dunze jersey yet?
Not yet. I don't like the number. It's not 1. I think he's got some weird number. I don't like it.
15.
Yeah. Never getting that.
All of a sudden you're off of Dunze already?
No, just not getting a jersey. I still think he's going to be everything that I said that I told you he was going to be, but I'm just not going to get a jersey.
All right. And are you ready to admit that Keenan Allen's a Hall of Famer yet? Are you ready to do that?
No, not yet. He's played 1 playoff game his entire career. They lost that.
6 consecutive seasons, 6 or 7 consecutive seasons.
No, he's never played in the play. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 playoff game that he lost. Just the one.
They won. They lost to Baltimore. They beat somebody and lost to Baltimore, 2018. So 2018, they beat somebody and they lost to Baltimore. I think that was Lamar's first year as an MVP. And then they lost to Jacksonville. So that was their second playoff win, or third playoff appearance.
1-1. Cool. Yeah, no, not a Hall of Famer.
I mean, what you call it just got Andre Johnson just got in.
I knew that was gonna be your comp. I absolutely
and he just got in.
He's gonna come off the top rope.
Come on. He just got in. Ooh, you want to be risky? Go Kyle Pitts. You want to risk it all? Go Kyle Pitts.
Ferguson.
Ooh.
I mean, if you have a choice, you would want to go Mark Andrews, but Ferguson should be number 2.
If you want to risk it, go Kyle Pitts, because Kyle Pitts is gonna have to. He got Kirk Cousins to him. This isn't a game. Fantasy football is not based on wins. It's based on stats. Kyle Pitts will put up stats.
And Kyle Pitts, number 4 pick in the draft, has not done squat.
Who's been his quarterback? Who's been his quarterback? And I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is the next coming of Dan Marino, but he's going to put up a bunch of stats. And at least these guys are going to be able to catch some passes. Drake London's going to have better numbers. Kyle Pitts is going to have better numbers. Whoever the other receiver is, they're going to have numbers.
Better, is it worth, like, if that's your first tight end? I mean, some other two.
I mean, yeah, Kyle Pitts. He said Ferguson. I said Kyle Pitts.
Again, fans, maybe I'm giving away too much of my strategy.
No, you ain't. Talking about strategy. Okay, let's get into this right now. Projected. Here's my projection. Last week, Cleveland was emphatic in saying, what did you say? Remind the people what you said about Team USA. Remind the people. I should have had that tape ready to
I am deeply concerned that they will not medal in front of the home crowd
he said
in 2028.
Fans, he didn't say not win the gold medal. That's not what he said. He didn't say not win the gold medal. He says will not medal, period. Man, that's what my co-host says.
Quite concerned about that, yes.
So now to refute that, fans, here is my list of projected players for Team USA in 2028. We're guard heavy. We are guard heavy, and the rest of the world is not like us. So when I say John Morant, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, Devin Booker is going to be 32. I don't know if he wants to come back. Tyrese Halliburton, those are my guards. Those guys are the ones dishing and controlling the action, making it happen. Then I go Anthony Edwards, Derek White, Mikal Bridges, Brandon Miller. Oh, and in addition to the list, this was a late addition to the list, Michael Porter Jr. Again, fans, we're looking at 2028 Michael Porter Jr. This is my projection for the 2028 Team USA squad. And so if Cleveland doesn't believe me and Cleveland doesn't trust in what I have to say, maybe this guy will trust in what I have to say. And fans, we're going to bring on to you guys right now, Mr. Dave McMenamin. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing well, fellas. Thanks for having me. I'm in the car. Just finished a workout at the gym, so the lighting isn't the best, but happy to join you too.
Well, appreciate you having me. Thanks for making time, man. What's the workout like? Are you doing hot yoga? Are you doing spin classes? What you guys doing out there?
It was a boot camp thing today. So I was doing everything from Versa Climber to the bike to box jumps, running the ropes. There was a bunch of stuff today.
All right. Well, Dave, thanks for joining us. We got the Pennsylvania native, ESPN NBA beat reporter, and fellow Newhouse alum. Thanks for having us, Dave. Appreciate it. Give him a round of applause. Dave, got a question for him. I'm going through it now. My co-host, Cleavon Steele. Meet Cleavon Steele up in the corner there. He said, repeat what you said, Cleavon. Well, I had to create my list.
So glad to have you on the show. I am deeply concerned that the 2028 USA basketball team will not medal in front of their home crowd in Los Angeles. And my concerns run very, very deep for various reasons, but I want to hear your opinion.
Well, I don't think your concerns are unfounded. Certainly based on the way the USA team was just tested in Paris, and they're going to not have their three best players from that team in 2028. I would say this, though. Grant Hill will continue to consult with Jerry Colangelo and Mike Krzyzewski about the program that they put in place from 2004 to 2008 in building really a sense of cohesion summer to summer to get to that point. Grant Hill took over midstream this time around, and you had the buy-in participation of the legends like LeBron, Steph, and KD. So that was going to be the route that he took, and understandably so. And it was imperfect. Obviously, they were down 17 in one of the medal round games to Serbia, but they got it done. Now he's going to be able to look under the hood. He's going to be able to establish a program. He's going to be able to do things like Coach K did, where if you don't participate in our training camp in a non-Olympic summer in Las Vegas, you're ineligible to participate in the FIBA games. And then if you don't participate in the FIBA games, you're ineligible to participate on the Olympic team. And having those types of stipulations in place will allow him to not only take some of the players from the gold medal team that we just saw, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum at the top of that list, but also build a program around them from guys who want to be there, who will commit not just the Olympic summer in 2028, but multiple summers leading up to that. And that will allow Steve Kerr, or whomever the next head coach is of the team. Brian Windhorst reported that this could very well be a one and done situation for Steve Kerr, whether it's Eric Spoelstra, whether it's Tyronn Lue, along with Grant Hill and selecting those players. They'll be able to build a program and I think give them a good chance to medal. Now, do I think it's a 6 gold medal in a row is an inevitability? Not whatsoever. But I do think they'll be able to go into that summer with a more of a sense of a team than this year's team had. And this year's team had that sense of camaraderie as a team, but they didn't have the experience as a team.
Do you think they're going to bring back the tryouts? That was something that a couple of NBA players complained about, that there were not tryouts. They just named players to the team. Will that be part of the new practice team, if you will, or the new formula to building a team?
I think in the participation trophy society that we live in, they will not label them tryouts. But as I said, I think there'll be certain stipulations where participation is necessary in order to be considered. And so whether they're actually gonna bring 30 players and whittle it down to 25 and whittle it down to 20 all the way down to 12, I'm not so sure it's going to be that process, but I think there will be a multiple summer participation required to be a part of the next Olympic team.
Well, I came up to help Grant Hill out and to help Colangelo out. I came up with a list of 20 players that I think should be on the team in consideration, and that starts with Ja Morant, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, Halliburton obviously was there. Booker, I give him the option if he wants to come back or not. That's 6 right there. Anthony Edwards, obviously we're going to need him. I expect him to lead the charge. Derek White, Mikal Bridges, Brandon Miller, Michael Porter Jr. are going to get opportunities to practice and pursue. Those are guys, they might be on a bubble actually, whether they make the team or not. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I think Jason Tatum has something to prove. Jaylen Brown obviously has something to prove, a chip on his shoulder of why he should have been there. And I think actually that's a good thing for Team USA, because he's going to be coming in wanting to prove the world that he should have been there last time. So, and then I got Bam Adebayo, Paolo Banchero, and then Zion Williamson. Do you think Zion Williamson, he's kind of wild card, can he make this squad at age of probably 30? Will he be effectively able to make that squad? And then I got some young guys like Klingon, Kessler, or Holmgren. We're gonna be weak down low. We're gonna be weak down low. However, I think our guard heavy team and our wing players can be pretty effective against the world. What's your thoughts on that squad, Dave?
Yeah, I think it's a great group. I think you can add someone like Cade Cunningham in consideration. Obviously, we'll see what Cooper Flagg does at Duke. Someone who we could be looking at. We could look at Carlos Boozer's children. 4 years from now, a lot can happen. But I think that's a really strong base to begin with. You could look to someone like an Austin Reeves, who played for the FIBA team last summer and was one of the more productive players on the team as more of a role player type guy, maybe filling a Derek White type of role. And yeah, I think that's where you start again, but you got to not just name the group now, get them around one another multiple summers in a row in Las Vegas in these international competitions. And again, allow them to, not just get to know one another off the court, but actually spend some time in drills, spend some time figuring out each other's games so you can have some automatics that you go to. You have basketball geniuses and Steph, KD, and LeBron. No one needs to coach them how to play with one another. They've played in every single scenario imaginable to an NBA player. But this next wave won't be that. They won't have that experience. And so you're going to have a ton of talent. All those players you just named, your eyes widened to talent, but they haven't had the experience, and also in high pressure situations. Think of all the finals experience of this group that just played. A lot of those guys we mentioned outside of the Celtics players and maybe, Michael Porter Jr. from Denver, you're talking about guys who never played, and Bam obviously played in the finals, but a lot of guys haven't played in the finals and international basketball. Sometimes it feels like an even bigger stage than the NBA finals. And so you want to be able to do everything you can to kind of simulate that environment by having as many as that you can participate in the FIBA events leading up to it.
That makes sense. Now, Dave, if I got this timing right, you were covering the Cavaliers when LeBron left Miami and went back to Cleveland, if I got that correct, right?
That's correct.
And then you made the trip from Cleveland to LA when LeBron came out here or went out west as well. That was a good transfer by you, Dave, actually going from Cleveland to Los Angeles. Good move by you. Smart man right there.
It wasn't my decision. It was my company's decision. I went where the work was, but certainly it's been a fruitful path.
So my question from you, those are a lot of years. Obviously, LeBron's had a very long career, and those are a lot of years that you intimately got to cover LeBron. What has been the most impressive, if you can narrow it down, if you will, one or two things? I would say one, I think for me, it was that bubble season, his leadership in the guys, corralling the team and keeping them focused on winning that championship during that bubble season. I thought, to me, that was the most impressive leadership that I've seen from one player in many, many years. For you, what was been the kind of the most impressive thing you've seen out of LeBron in the time you've been covering him?
I mean, obviously, top of mind, it goes straight to being down 3-1 against a Golden State team that went 73-9 during the regular season, a team that had only lost 2 games in a row once all season long, and you pull off the impossible. You beat them 3 times in a row, 2 of those games on their home court, including a game 7, and you make the most impressive defensive play of your entire career with the chase down block on Andre Iguodala. Like, that jumps off the page. That's forever going to be the thing in terms of a pure basketball accomplishment that will be the thing that sticks out to me. But I've been now covering LeBron's teams for a decade now, and I've been there when he opened up a school in Akron, and that's incredibly impressive. I've been there when he's spending time before a game, and he sees a kid in Boston wearing a special type of Nikes that were built for children with disabilities with zippers on it, so it's easier to get in and out of the shoe. Because if you have a certain disability, it's not so easy to tie sneakers on and off. And he singles out this kid and gives him a hug, before the game, and the kid has, a smile as wide as as the arena. He just lights up, and LeBron taking the time and having the attention to detail to see someone like that. Those are the things that stick with me. And then, just him in terms of being, he's an impressive human being. His energy level, not just the way he plays basketball, but the way he approaches, when he walks into a room, oftentimes there's dozens of people that want a piece of him. They want some of his time. They want some of his attention. And for him to be able to compartmentalize kind of those drains upon his energy and still, look people in the eye and be thoughtful and, accomplish a lot of things with a lot of people, it's incredibly impressive to me. And so, it's just been, it's been a story that, I was very fortunate early in my career to cover Kobe Bryant, and another one of the, kind of monolithic players in league history. But I was younger at that time, and so I didn't quite understand life as well. I didn't understand myself as well. I didn't understand, what it is to be, kind of a man in this world. And so, LeBron and I being about a year and a half apart in age, I felt like I've kind of come into, adulthood, somewhat step by step with him over these last 10 years. And that's what it's almost been more impressive to me. Like, wow, I still play pickup. I'm 41 years old. I don't have the energy I did in those
you know what that takes to get out there. What it feels like to get out there.
And he's still flying around the court with 21-year-olds.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for breaking that down, Dave. That's pretty impressive. Now, obviously, you're covering the Lakers, and in talking about LeBron, we know what the formula is to get knockdown shooters around LeBron. They have AD, and they need knockdown shooters. Considering Dalton Connect, assuming that Dalton Connect isn't ready for the bright lights of the NBA playoffs, what's a legitimate move that they can make to get some more shooters on their squad? Or do they need to get some more shooters on that squad?
I think the number one priority has to be a true big. They won the championship with LeBron and AD and JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard. And that allowed AD to do so many more things defensively and also have a little bit of energy left on the offensive end. Jackson Hayes showed some signs of promise last year, but he shouldn't be, certainly not your top big man. And he's probably your third. And Christian Wood, just wasn't reliable enough last year, and certainly his body betrayed him as well. And so that if they're going to do anything in consequence, especially considering if you are going to win it, you probably have to go through Jokic, who's knocked them out of the playoffs the last 2 years. Let's say you get through Jokic, maybe on the other side you have Giannis or Embiid coming out of the East, or Kristaps Porzingis, right? So you're going to need some more size in terms of shooting. We'll see. Gabe Vincent shot 40% his last year in Miami, was injured all of basically his first year with the Lakers. They're encouraged by what he potentially can bring if he's healthy. D'Angelo Russell set a Lakers single season record for most threes in the season last year. Austin Reeves has been a proven commodity from beyond the arc. LeBron shot the ball better than any time in his career from three last year. And JJ Redick said at his introductory press conference he wants LeBron shooting even more threes. And so I'm not so sure shooting, you always need it. Look at what Serbia did, 15 threes in the first three quarters, and they had the USA team on the ropes. But I think really a big man, a true big man, is what should be at the top of their priority, and that's what they should put their future draft picks towards the middle of the table when it comes trade time. If you can get a guy like Walker Kessler, if you can get a guy, maybe Jonas Valanciunas from Washington, I think that could be a big difference maker.
Wow. Cleveland, what you got?
Dave, given the fact that the Lakers are the most storied franchise in the history of basketball, and for most people's accounts, LeBron is one of the top 5 players of all time, Laker Nation and Laker fans like myself have been a little bit disappointed with regards to how they've been able to, or their level of unsuccess with regards to free agency. Is there any particular thing that you can kind of point to why it is no longer a destination for top tier free agents, and is that something that can be changed in the future?
I just think it's a misnomer. What's the last time the Lakers had cap space to sign a max free agent? Who did they sign? LeBron James. I'd say that's a pretty darn good free agent signing with max cap space. So since then, they've tried to get guys who are better than max players at a discount. They didn't do it, but that's not because it's, people go to get where they're going to get paid. And gentlemen, I have about 2 more minutes, so we're just going to wrap up on this. But, I understand the frustration of Laker Nation, of course, because they're so accustomed to the 17 banners and all the like. But, the game has changed a lot. And even the last 6 years that LeBron's been with the Lakers, the business of basketball has changed a lot. And the Lakers are trying to kind of still be that legacy franchise. They can attract the stars, but they recognize they got to work around the margins, and you can't just pay luxury tax dollar to dollar like they used to do and attract the best players to LA. They're going to have to work on their player development program. They're going to have to continue to score in the draft and get guys, an undrafted guy like Austin Reeves, scour the league, find guys that they think are underutilized, much like they got Rui Hachimura from the Washington Wizards for, Kendrick Nunn, who wasn't really playing for them, and second-round picks. That's going to be the key to success. Plus, obviously, continue to attract the star. So whether that be post LeBron, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, right down the list, I'm sure somewhere in the Lakers headquarters on a whiteboard there's the plans to get Victor Wembanyama and purple and gold someday. But in the meantime, it's got to be succeeding around the margins, and that's why you applaud them for a guy like Max Christie. You think that has some potential for a breakout year this year, but then you say you can't miss on a guy like who so far looks like a miss in Jalen Hood-Schifino. The margins have gotten smaller for the Lakers, and I think I'm gonna have to call it on that. But gentlemen, it was great to join you both, and I hope to do this again.
Yeah, I hope we have you again. Thank you for your time, Dave. Appreciate you. Hopefully you guys got your Laker questions answered there from Mr. Dave McTen-Miniman, and check him out. Obviously,
you did, and I hope you did as well, Cameron. About the King.
Well, I know he was working closely with them. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this question, Cleavon, about your guy Carmelo Anthony. Did you hear what he had to say after they won the gold medal?
No.
You didn't hear, or did you ignore what he had to say, or did you not hear what he had to say?
I did not hear it.
He said he would not give away any of his 3 gold medals for NBA championship.
Sounds like someone hasn't won an NBA championship.
Oh, you taking shots at your guy now?
I mean, yeah, that sounds like a Charles Barkley kind of thing to say. Like, oh, okay, that's because you've never won an NBA championship. That's why you talk like that. 3 gold medals is not equal to NBA championship. If that's the equation that you were asking.
So, where do I need to repeat my projection from 2028, or do you agree that this team can actually medal, as you said?
No, your projection scares me even more, and I'm so sorry that Dave didn't really have a chance to hear further more about why I'm so concerned. So
he mentioned it. Those
legends. No, but he didn't get real in depth. He kind of did the same thing you did, like, hey, let's not worry about it. No. So first team NBA. You know how many Americans were on that team?
Okay, listen.
No, wow. See, wait. No, answer my question.
Jason Tatum.
What?
Jason Tatum.
What? And you know what number he was in the rotation? 11.
Okay, Cleveland. It's not like the 4 of the guys came from Serbia.
No, second team.
It's not like the 4 guys came from Serbia. That's what you're trying to make it up to be.
Second team had 4 players that were selected to the team. Kawhi elected not to play. The other player was Jalen Brunson.
Again.
Third team All-NBA. Steph, LeBron, and Devin Booker are already on the team. Little Sabonis is the other one, and then Tyrese Maxey.
So out of 15 players, only America had 60% of the all NBA team, is what you're saying. They had 60% of them, and out of 15 players, 10 of them were Americans. That's what you're telling me. That's what I just heard.
That's what you just heard. And
so America still has predominantly the better basketball players.
You're waiting in the rings is Ja Morant and Zion Williamson, and I'm sorry, you say Keegan Murray and
no, I said Tyrese Maxey,
Jalen Brown.
Halliburton knows what's like to be
yeah. He got no. I'm so sorry. What was his quote? when you get an award for participation and you didn't in a group project, but you didn't participate?
Yeah, but now he's around there. Now he knows how to lead a team. Now he knows where to go with it.
Okay.
So yes, now he knows how to play.
What I see on the horizon,
Anthony Edwards, Derek White was there.
From what I see on the horizon, Paula, welcome.
Zion, Hawkins. I didn't even mention Hawkins Jr.
I'm concerned.
I'm concerned about their post play. They got Chet.
You should be concerned about everything else other than Paula.
We might need Zach Edey. We might need to recruit Zach Edey to get him out there.
Zach Edey's from Canada. He's not coming.
Ooh.
See what I'm saying? Who's coming here?
Cooper Flag, Kessler, Klingon.
Cooper Flag has not played one game at Duke. You already have him on the USA basketball team defending for gold in 2028.
That's 4 years.
You're reaching so far.
He's going to be ready in 4 years. In 4 years,
you have the same level of fear that I do. You had Brandon Miller on your team.
Again, we're projecting.
What did you see in Brandon Miller last year?
I seen a 6'8" player with a 7 feet wingspan. That's what I saw.
You did not see anything that says, "Wow, you're an adequate replacement for Steph, LeBron, and KD."
I mean, Paul George is his favorite player of all time. So
okay, well, that doesn't concern you.
You shouldn't be so hard on my man. I think that's a solid team. Let me see. Carmelo, you didn't want to talk about Carmelo. You didn't want you brush Carmelo off real quick.
I just answered your question very, very, simple and plain.
Hardcore LeBron questions. I mean, come on.
There's none to have. You saw what LeBron did, man. Come on now. It's no hard questions.
Pass to Steph,
and then he
pass to Steph. Yeah, I saw that. Or got dunked on by Yabusele. I saw that too.
Wow, got the Mr. Magoo glasses on, huh? That's cool.
Fans, every week, man, we give you this week in history. I don't know. I still haven't heard anybody tell me a podcast that brings on and give you guys a little educational piece like we do with this week in history. August 14th, 1876, Cleveland, Prairie View State University was founded. August 13th, 1881, the first nursing school for African Americans opened up at Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia.
Say that.
August 13, 1960, the Central African Republic declares independence from France. August 9th, August 11, 1955, riot began in Watts. Well, we talked about that last week, actually. August 11, 1965, that was the Watts riots began. August 14, 1971, Bob Gibson threw a no-hitter against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was the first new no-hitter at Ford Field in 61 years. August 14, 1986, Cleveland. Pete Rose had his 4,256 and last base hit in a game against who? What team, Cleveland?
The Phillies.
San Francisco Giants. August 14, 1987, a year later, Mark McGwire set the home run record by a rookie when he connected for his 49th home run of the season. August 14th, 2015, Cleveland, Straight Outta Compton. That was already 9 years ago, Cleveland. Straight Outta Compton was released on a $28 million budget. It opened to $60 million, made $60 million on opening weekend, $162 million domestically, $64 million internationally, for a total of $200 million. The movie made on a $28 million budget. Maybe we should get into the movie making.
So, quick funny story about first time I saw Straight Outta Compton. Real quick. So, I wanted to get like fully like, engrossed in like the moment. Went to the store. I'm like, I'm gonna get me my OE, my traditional.
Oh boy.
Like I used to do. In Seattle, they didn't even sell 40s in glass bottles no more. They're all plastic.
They're all plastic
They're all
bottles.
plastic. So that killed half of the vibe, right? Like, oh wow.
I mean, that makes sense though.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously concentrated and all that.
Plastic
Yeah.
40 bottles? They're 40 bottles just plastic?
They are. They're legitimately 40 ounces, but they're
Wow.
a plastic bottle. So it's not the shape or nothing, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. Drank that thing. Oh, my head hurts.
Yeah, you asleep.
Oh wow. I didn't go to sleep, but my head hurt so bad. Like, wow, how did I function on this? How did I
How were you drinking two of those a night?
Go-to thing for so long.
Yeah, 2 a night. What? Wow. I was plastic bottle. I gotta see one now.
Plastic
It's like the 7-Up bottle, the Sprite bottle. Just
it's not quite that shape. It's more like the let's say like a Sobe bottle. So it's like comes up and it has like a little nozzle at the top, and it's just plastic.
Interesting. So obviously, Cleveland, we had the Olympics closing ceremonies. I don't know if you watched the closing ceremonies and watched them pass the torch and Tom Cruise do his little jump off the top of the building or top of the stadium and just kind of fake parachute down. It was so phony. It was so phony.
Contrived.
And then he takes a torch from the Los Angeles mayor and puts on a motorcycle and drives it into the airplane that's gonna carry him to America. Oh my god, it was so corny. And I just hate it. If this is what they're gonna try to make him make LA 28. Oh my goodness. That was so kind of corny. They put the 5 rings on the Hollywood sign. So, obviously the 2 Hollywood sign, the 2 O's had rings, and then they had the 3 rings attached to the top of it. I don't know about that. It was a good cause of breaking, having breaking in the tournament, and then my thoughts on the breaking scenario. But now that you had a chance to kind of absorb everything that happened in the Olympics, Cleveland, do your top events change? The 100 meters photo finish was excellent, obviously. USA losing the 400 mixed relay, or they lost the 400 period, the men's, with another bad toss. Is the number 12 years in a row that they haven't won it. So that's the 400 meter 4x1 relay they lost because they couldn't get the handoff done correctly, and the 400 meter mixed relay where the girl chased down the American in the end in the last 100. You had to see it. That was kind of the takeaway. The men's 1500 finish was impressive. We talked about the other day Sha'Carri winning the silver medal, but then she did come back, and as you mentioned, she was vindicated by winning the gold medal in the 4x1 women's run. And what about your boy? All of a sudden, your boy was healthy, dancing all over the track, 1-100 by a photo finish, as I mentioned. Loses the 200, and then he came down with COVID. That was pretty interesting, Cleveland. Did you see him at the nightclubs? Any nightclubs? Did you see him? Has he visited Seattle yet?
Oh, hey, Cam. So sorry, you got the order wrong. He actually came down with COVID and then lost the 200. It wasn't the other way around. And I know that if anyone shows any type of energy and enthusiasm, you're probably one of them cats like, parents just say, man, if you're well enough to watch TV, you're well enough to go to school. You know what I'm saying? You one of them cats. So hey man, like, sure, you walking around in the house, you might as well be in school. It's not quite the same thing when you're trying to run a sub 200 at the Olympics against the other 7 greatest 200 meter runners in the in the world. But no, actually, what changed for me was I was watching the 4x4 women's, and it was Otto, because I like Otto Building. He does great commentary as far as I'm concerned. And the other gal, I can't remember her name, but they were criticizing the order of the 4x4. They were like, Sid should be running the anchor, and they had her running number 2. Like, oh, I think this is a mistake. So they ran the first 400, and she got the baton second. And she blew that lead out so far that they were almost never in the screen. Like the second place person, it was like they would come in the screen for a little bit. It was like, wow, she's blowing these guys out. Gave it to the third and the fourth, and it was just like never a race. It's like, wow.
Yeah, Gabby Thomas finished that one, right?
Yeah. So she did the 200, the 4x1, and the 4x4.
Yeah, but old girl is amazing. Like she's like the Ledecky of the track and field, right? Just extending her lead.
So her 4x4 in the hurdles was a world record, and I think it would have been like this either the second or third fastest time in the 400 without the hurdles. So yeah, so
and their split in that 4x4 was amazing as well. So
yeah, so that kind of moved up the list for me a little bit.
Ping pong, I mentioned. I don't know if you saw the replay, but that ping pong match for the gold medal was pretty impressive. With the Olympics, man, are you gonna miss the Olympics? Or are you good? You get a little 4-year break from the Olympics.
This is a good one. I'm glad I get a little 4-year break, a little build up. I mean, it seems to make it like that much more of a thing. Like we were talking with Tyler, I would like to see a little bit more track and field in between. But for just bringing all the events, once every 4 years is cool with me. I think 2 years would probably be a little bit more like you keep the athletes in their prime a little bit longer. But the 4 years builds up the suspense. So
the 4 years builds up to the suspense, and then typically we get new faces. Like typically we get new faces that you see them once or twice, but Simone Biles is competing in her 4th or 5th Olympics, so that typically doesn't happen. But so credit to her. So yeah, as I mentioned, the LA 28, I'm excited for it to be here in the country and kind of see what kind of show they put on. That's going to be interesting. Cleveland, let's get to your guy, Tom Haberstroh, the Portland Trailblazers in-game announcer. And this is the same guy who wrote the article and went back and looked this guy got a lot of time on his hand, clearly. Who looked at all the game from 2000 or from 1998 and is claiming that Jordan should not have won the Defensive Player of the Year because there was some home cooking on the stats.
I don't think he ever said that. I think he just unveiled what the stats really were.
Okay. He had a lot of time on his hands because now he's come up with a bunch of rules. I'm not going to talk about them all, but a bunch of rules, and I think the fans might find this interesting. Want to get your feedback, fans. End of the quarter, the heaves at the end of the quarter. When the clock is winding down. Peyton Pritchard was known for this, to take that last second shot, come off the bench to get that last second shot. A lot of players don't take them because that impacts their shooting percentage, right? Some players don't care. Peyton Pritchard obviously came in and shot him. Anyway, he's saying those end of quarter heaves should not go against your shooting average. What do you think about that?
Disagree.
I disagree as well. Yeah, I certainly disagree as well. So I think we disagree on that one. One of the another rules he has is there should be unlimited fouls in the NBA. So Jaren Jackson Jr. could have 12 fouls in a game. Draymond Green can have 7 fouls in a game.
Totally disagree.
They should have. His reasoning was that the penalty is already built in to the foul. So if once Jaren Jackson gets a 7th foul, the team's already going to get either 2 shots. Maybe they get the ball back, but they're already going to get 2 shots. That's his reasoning that they should get unlimited fouls because we don't want to see the star players get taken out of games. Chris Paul, we don't want to see Chris Paul foul out of games, LeBron James, etc. Agree, disagree?
Disagree.
A lot of times on his hands, right? And here's what. So I didn't agree with any of these, but I wanted to get your feedback. And then this is what he said. His reasoning, I like the reasoning better, but I didn't like the Elam ending in the All-Star game to begin with. It was too you're doing too much math. And so if it's if a team has a 15-point lead going in from the third quarter into the fourth quarter, and we say now we're playing to 24 points, like obviously one team has to go crazy and score 40 points to win that quarter and win the game, right? Versus one team has to score the 24 points. I didn't like the Elam ending. How did you like the Elam ending? And when it was in the All-Star game, I didn't care for it, but his reasoning makes the most sense. I like his reasoning for it. Everybody who goes and play basketball, they always play to a score. You always play to 7 points, 11 points, 21 points. You're always playing to a score. You're not playing the time on the clock. It's only in professional sports or competitive sports that they put the time on the clock. That reason I like the logic, but I don't like the actuality of I don't like the actual logic of that. What's your thoughts on that one, Cleveland?
Nah, I'm not a fan of that either. No.
I didn't like it in. Did you like the Elam ending in the All-Star games?
No.
When we're gonna do this now, and then at the fourth quarter we're playing to 24 points. So first one to 24 points. He's like, every game there's a final shot. Every game there's gonna be a game-winning shot. So okay, I get it. But then it's just not. There's a different variance there. I don't like that. You get blown out, you get blown out. So I don't know. So you didn't agree with your Haberstroh. Haberstroh, that's one thing you didn't agree on. So I can say that now, Cleveland, you're not really a fan of Haberstroh.
No, those rules were all weird. Yeah, no, not so much.
He had too much time on that. What do you think of the Red Sox center fielder, man? Jamin Duran getting suspended for 2 games without pay for what he said about the fan telling him he needs a tennis racket at the plate.
Yeah, that's protocol. That's par for the course. It's 2024. Got to get that out. Can't endorse that. So got what he deserved.
Something gets said on the field, Cleveland, that really shouldn't be legislated. His problem is
social media. Fans heard it. Fans broadcast it all over the world. That can't be a look on your franchise. That's why it happened.
That's his problem. Was he said it at home plate when there's microphones and they're all eyes are on you. Like if you said it, if you're in the center field and you said that, like nobody's really gonna hear you, right? Except the fans, and their fans can scream something back at you, right? Nobody's gonna really hear that. But when you're up to plate, up at the at bat, and you say that, not only are eyes on you, there's microphones now to pick that up, to pick up the ball hitting the catcher's mitt, to pick up when the ump says you're out. So I think it was bad timing on his part. That cost him probably a good $300,000-$400,000
for sure.
Anything else? Do you do anything else to him?
No, that's it. He learned his lessons.
Can the Mariners catch the Astros, Cleveland?
Not sure. They play great, one weekend, and then they, again, struggle to score runs. So it will be up to whether this outfield can produce the way it's capable of producing. Otherwise, it'll be a sad ending.
Well, you got your guy back, A-Rod. He came back and went, or J-Rod, excuse me. He came back and went 0 for 5. I mean, is that just the first game jitters, or did he ever go to AA or AAA?
First game jitters. So he had 2 hits yesterday. He had 2 hits today. So he's back.
I mean, what do you go, 2 for 5 or what?
It's 400. So yeah, both games. Yeah.
So the Mariners right now, 63, 57, 6-4 their last 10 games. That's what they did the previous 10 games, go 6-4. 52% winning percentage. And they're a game and a half back of the Astros. I mean, do you got money on them making up that difference?
No.
What are your storylines for the second half of the season, Cleveland, in the Major League Baseball? What should the fans be looking towards?
Seeing if the Yankees, the Mariners, the Dodgers, and the Braves can make the playoffs, win a World Series.
You said Yankees, Mariners, and Dodgers. Well,
Dodgers are making it. The question is,
Shohei is already there. Shohei is back and better than ever. What are you talking about? I mean, Mookie Betts is back in action now. I mean, come on, leave the Dodgers alone. That's your top 3. Can the Yankees and the Mariners make it?
That's my top 3.
What about San Diego? Can San Diego make any noise?
For sure, they got great bats over there, and we'll see what they can do.
Okay, and is Paul Skeens, is he gonna win the Rookie of the Year? Is he still in Cy Young contention?
For sure, winning the Rookie of the Year. I don't know about Cy Young contention.
Who else is gonna beat him out? Who would else beat him out
in the National League?
Yeah, he's with Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah. He hasn't pitched a full season, so I'm not quite sure who the next best pitcher in the National League is. Forgive me.
I mean, if Shohei start pitching, he'll be the best pitcher in the National League again, right?
Sure would.
You say it facetiously, but Shohei is ready to go again. Your home run prop bets have been doing pretty well. Who's your home run? Who you have? Who you been taking? So the Mariners, they're gonna finish the season 500 right now. The Orioles, what's your thoughts on the Orioles? Boots Silas, we ain't heard from Boots in a while, but the Orioles, are they gonna make the World Series?
I don't think the World Series. They will definitely make the playoffs.
Okay. Well, fans, we give you guys thank you guys for tuning in. Let's give Cleveland a round of applause. Also want to give a new friend of the show, Dave McMenamin, a round of applause for joining in. Hopefully you got some insight of who he is and the work he's done. Cleveland got his question answered about the Lakers not being a destination place. Dave didn't like that. He didn't take too kindly.
I noticed.
To that, if you noticed that or not.
I did.
So fans, let's give Cleveland a round of applause dealing with the heat over there. Each and every week, man, we give you the number can at the beginning of the show. We give you this week in history, and then we like to end the show with a quote, just a quote to help you guys. Soto, Kyle Gunner, huh? You got any picture? You got any suggestion for him, Cleveland?
No. Oh, for baseball?
Yeah.
Oh, it would be Soto.
I mean, what question did you want us to ask, man? We gave you some puff stuff for LeBron. What did you want us to ask? Is this his last year? I mean, come on, man. We can't hit the guy with the make him look bad on his first night on the show. That ease into that stuff. So here's a quote I have for you guys this week, though. I learned that if you want to make it bad enough, no matter how bad it is, you can make it. That's Gale Sayers. I learned that if you want to make it bad enough, no matter how bad it is, you can make it. Yeah, that's right. Right. He gets sent from Cleveland to Los Angeles. That's a win for Dave. He's on a high horse. Everything looks nice and rosy there. He's gonna make it look good. That's for sure. Anybody been to Southern California, gladly take that transition. So fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. If you are willing, hit me up. Send donations to my Cash App. The $, Voice of the Fans. If you can and you're willing, anything goes. I mean, we need a new background here. We need a new mic. We need a second mic, actually. Anything goes. We need a camera so we can give you some live action. Any donations, except everything through Cash App. So you can send $2.59, Cleavon, or you can send $13.59. It all counts. Cash App and the $, Voice of the Fans. If you can and you are willing, appreciate you guys' assistance. Thank you guys, Bootzilla. Thank you, Barry, MJ Lever, SB23. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Cleveland, thank you for your time as well. And we only have a couple more weeks to our fantasy football special draft show. That'll be coming up in a couple weeks. So thank you guys for your time. What's this here?
Not sure.
Well, this guy's going to ISO stadium factors and all this. Boy, you getting deep in it. Like, you trying to win you some money, huh, big dog? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. We really appreciate it. As always, fans, thank you for making our voice your choice. Have a nice night.